This is the plaintiff, Duane Foster. He says the defendant, his cousin, cashed one of his checks, and instead of giving him the money like she usually does, she kept it and spent it. That's right, his own family has stolen his money, refuses to return it, and he's suing for the $412 he's most definitely owed. This is the defendant, Letitia Mixon. She says she and the plaintiff got into an altercation, and she was so stressed out by it all, she had a mild stroke. When she got out of the hospital, she decided she was going to use the $412 towards her hospital and doctor bills. The plaintiff was the one who caused the problem, and the plaintiff should be the one to pay for the problem. End of story. She's accused of not treating a cousin kindly.
Litigants have become affirmed, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Duane Foster?
Yes.
You are suing Letitia Mixon for $412, the amount of a Social Security check of yours that she unlawfully, according to you, cashed.
Right.
Okay. Let me hear from you.
Okay. First, she had...
How do you two know each other?
That's my cousin.
Were you living together?
At once.
And why were you living with her? Was she living with you, or were you living with her?
No,
what was the deal?
No, it's because I just came home from North Carolina, and I had no other place to go, so she said you could come to my house.
Were you paying to live there?
Yes.
Okay. And so there were Social Security checks that were coming to your name. Why?
Because...
In other words, why do you have Social Security checks?
Oh, from my father. First, I was getting SSI and Social Security, but then they said I don't need to see no more doctors or anything like that.
Okay.
So they just made it to be just Social Security. One comes on the first, one comes on the third.
Okay, but is it because of some disability, or
right.
What's the nature of the disability?
I have bipolar.
Okay. Do you take medication?
Sometimes, only if for the. I should have took it this morning. I'm nervous.
Okay.
But
do
only
you
for
take
if
it?
I feel
do you
that
take it the way the doctor tells you, or
that's
don't
how I'm
you?
supposed to take it. As like
you take it the way you're supposed to.
As my mood feels.
Okay. Now, you have been living with her for how long?
About a month.
And why were apparently the checks were coming in both of your names?
Yes.
Why is that? Why is her name at all in your?
Because she was my payee.
Why did you need a payee?
Because you have to have someone to govern my money for me.
So everybody needs to have a payee, is what you're telling me, when under your circumstances with Social Security?
Yes.
Okay. And then the method was the checks would come in, and what would happen? She would cash them and give you the money?
Yes.
All right. And that was working fine for how long?
For about a month or so, because then after that I moved out.
Right.
I went to live with a woman and her 2 children.
Somebody you just met?
Well, I knew her for a little bit of period of time before then, but yeah,
all
something
right.
like that. Then,
okay, but I want to get to where there's a problem between you and Letitia that causes her, according to you, to run out and cash her Social Security check and pocket it.
Okay, this is what happened. Well, we were watching TV, and I could talk for like a very long time. I mean, I could talk all the way from North Carolina straight on through to New York. Talk, just constantly just talk. So the young lady, she was watching TV. She was sitting down.
Who's the young lady?
Can I show to the person?
No, I just don't know what you're saying.
It was this woman that stays to her house. She's right there in the green shirt.
Okay.
Right.
So you're talking.
I was talking. So she tells me, can you please be quiet?
Okay.
So I was talking with the girl who came over that was with me.
Who's another girl.
Right.
Okay. Who's not in this room.
No, she's not.
And you were chatting, and she asked you, can you please be quiet because you're watching TV?
That's what I did.
Okay.
But I guess I was talking long with her because I wasn't really interested in the show they was watching, so me and her was talking. But as far as I figured...
Polite people might leave the room, but anyway, go ahead. All right, and what happened?
But
anyway, what happens?
That's it. So then she gets mad at me, not my cousin, the woman in the green. She gets mad at me.
And what's the relationship between the two of them?
I think they're friends.
Friends?
Associates.
Okay. And what classmate? Okay, so go ahead.
Okay. So then we get mad at each other.
You two?
Me, right, the woman in the green. I don't remember her name. I always have
It's all right, just come, tell me the story. Oh my gosh, it's like pulling teeth. I feel like a dentist. Just tell me what happened.
That is what happened. We had an argument. Then after that, Letitia had told me, okay, you know what, Rennie, she called me by my middle name, which is Duane's my first name.
But you digress again. She tells you what? How did the two of you get into a fight? And
me and her never got into a fight. Me and Letitia never got into a fight.
You and Letitia never get into an argument?
No.
Letitia never gets mad at you over the fight you got into with her friend?
Yes.
She does. And tell me about what happened.
So she tells me, she says for me to leave out. So I left out, but I had my TV, not my TV, I had my game.
So she threw you out of the apartment?
Threw me out of the apartment.
Oh, so apparently she did get mad.
Right.
So you did get into a fight with Letitia. So she throws you out, and then when the next check comes in, according to you, she takes it and she cashes it.
Right.
Okay. What happened?
Nonetheless, he's leaving out so much of the story.
Okay. What's your version of what happened in the fight?
In the beginning, what happens in the argument?
Nobody disputes the beginning. I want to know what happened.
What happens when it gets to the day of the fight?
Yeah.
Prior to it, before it even gets to an altercation, they're arguing. And I asked him to go outside so this way he can calm down, she can calm down, I can't. I have a history of having strokes. And I know when I get to the point when I have too much stress and things of that nature and too much going on, I tend to get sick. I start getting dizzy, things of that nature, and then I pass out. Okay?
Actual strokes, or
yes,
you passed out?
A stroke.
Okay. How many strokes have you had?
I've had two. January 12th, June 12th, prior to the day the situation occurred, I had all the signs to the mild stroke. That's why they kept me in the hospital for the 3 days. And it's not like Duane doesn't have a history or doesn't know the history. He knows everything.
No, I don't know that.
Hold on.
He knows.
Okay.
Prior to him coming to live with me, I stated this to him. So it's not like he doesn't know anything. So I asked him to leave. He says he's not going outside. He's not going anywhere. So I walked out of my own house because I know what happens to me. So for me to be okay, I walked out of my house to get some air. I come back about maybe 15, 20 minutes later, thinking maybe everything is calmed down, and it's apparently worse than what it is prior to me leaving. Now, there's 3 children in the household. Apparently, it doesn't matter to him that there are children in my household.
How old are the children who are there?
Well, at the time, my son was 10, and his girlfriend's children were at the house. I believe Heaven was 3 at the time, and Hunter, I believe, is 8. And they're there. He doesn't take into account anything. So I'm trying to stop them from arguing, fighting, and things like that, because I don't want it to get to a fight, because no children should be able to see that. Apparently, he doesn't feel that way. He wants to keep going. So I'm trying to push him away and push her away, Satalia, from fighting. So I end up punching the refrigerator, trying to get some kind of, balance in between the two of them, and it's not working. I start feeling myself getting dizzy, so I go and I try to hold on to something so this way I know I can at least get to the bed to sit. Apparently, I never made it to the bed. From my understanding, I'm on the floor now. I don't know anything else until I get to the hospital. And when I finally wake up, I believe it may be about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm in the emergency room, and they're telling me everything else that went on. They tried to explain to him, I needed help. He's standing there laughing. Oh, that's not my cousin. She's just faking it. Why would you say something like that? And when it comes down to it, if nobody else is there for you, nobody cares, nobody does anything. When he was incarcerated, I ran from his girlfriend's house to the precinct by myself to be there for him. And that same night, he proceeded to say, you know what, you can go ahead and leave. You don't have to be here with me. I don't care.
Why are you?
I don't know.
Why do you let him into your house? How many priors does he have?
Oh, my goodness. You know what?
So why do you let him into the house where you have is this your child?
Yes.
Why do you let this man then into your house to live when you have a 10-year-old child? You don't think that this is a bad idea on your part to have him influencing your child?
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So if she's saying, look, he caused me to have a stroke, so I'm keeping the Social Security money. Can she do that?
No, she cannot.
Why not?
Well, because it's his Social Security money.
It's his money, but she's saying he caused me to have a stroke, so I should be able to use the money toward the medical bills.
She should have taken him to court then.
Okay, well, that is another option. What do you think? You don't think anything? Well, you have a cute baby anyway. Okay, going inside the courtroom.
You know what? I can't sit there and say I was right, but
I can sit here and say you were wrong.
I know.
I have no problem doing that.
I know that. But you know what?
Because sometimes, we have to, you know what happens? If everybody minds their own, everybody turns out a little bit better in this world.
This is true.
And you have a 10-year-old you got to worry about, and you got to worry only about your 10-year-old. So maybe you don't have to take in, your cousin who just got out of prison.
I shouldn't have.
And apparently Strike 3 is looming in the
prison.
horizon, because I've seen all the Facebook posts where he put, I think we're threatening you with Strike 3 that's going to put him in jail for life. So really? So this is who you want to bring into your home? What did you end up doing, Letitia? Then the Social Security check comes in. It's for $412. You're mad at him because he's shown tremendous insensitivity. Okay? You're angry. You feel like him and his shenanigans ended up putting you in the hospital. They ended up keeping you in the hospital for how long?
For 3 days.
Okay. Now you come out. He's gone at this point, right? He's out of the apartment. All right? And His Social Security check comes, and you do what, honey?
And I told him he wasn't getting it, and I kept it.
But you can't do that.
I know, and I was upset, and I was pissed, and I told him, I was like, you know, you were wrong in so many different ways. And he's like, you know what, I'm gonna call the cops. I'm gonna get your arrest. And it's sad because I had the money to give him. But when I started seeing all the Facebook posts and he's sitting there talking trash and things of that nature when nobody else was there, I said he wasn't getting a damn dime of his money. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Yeah, I probably was wrong for it.
You were wrong. You're legally wrong. And you could have ended up in trouble. And I'm gonna order you to pay the $412 because you can't be judge, jury, and executioner on your own. You wanna file a lawsuit against him and say to him, this is what a grown-up who's trying to be a role model for that boy does. Get out of my house, get out of my world. I should have never taken him in. Take me off as payee. Here's this last check. Here, go figure out a way to cash it. How was he gonna cash it without your signature, okay? You know, you give him that would have been a better plan, right? Or you sign it and you hand it over to him and say, take me off, next month I'm not signing it, something. But what you can't do is cash it and use it for yourself or refuse to give it to him because then that is considered theft. You can't do that. So I'm gonna enter an order that you pay the $412. You wanna turn around and you wanna sue him, you have to be able to prove that what happened is a result directly of him and not of a lifetime of cholesterol, not of other issues that you have, not of whatever else. If you have had strokes before, the last guy you want in your house is him. He's your cousin, right? You know him. You didn't just meet him. You know he's bad news. You know you need to keep everything calm around you. It's hard enough. How many kids do you have?
3.
Oh, that's not hard enough? That's not a big enough challenge for you?
It is.
You need to make things very peaceful around you, okay? $412 verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Plaintiff on our way over to the courtroom right here. Step on in. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
There were tears. Are you good now?
I'm fine.
All right. What the judge had to say, she understands your problem, but it was the wrong remedy for you.
Understand, and it's fine.
Mm-hmm. What do you do next then? Now, what is the right remedy?
I just continue to go on with my life, and I know who to exclude from out of it. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Do you regret having stepped up for him and helped him in his time of need?
No, I don't, because at the end of the day, I'll be the only one that was there for him to help him with anything. Mm-hmm. And he'll just have to remember that for the rest of his life.
Are you no longer willing to help him out?
No, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done.
All right. Look ahead right that way, young man. All right, so come on in here and step on in here. What's your feeling about the way this came out?
I ain't had enough talk time, but I felt okay. It's good, but some of that stuff that she said didn't really happen.
Do you regret your behavior around the young ones in that household?
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But I wasn't the only adult acting that way. The other one that had the green. That's why I couldn't understand me and the woman in the green shirt having an argument, but then it causes my cousin and I for us to not be able to talk or anything like that.
You got $412, but
yes.
You may have lost the support of your cousin. Is that worth it?
No, not really.
All right. Harvey, what do you got?
Okay, you know, I really want to reiterate this thing. She may have a case, but the fact is these are two separate things. She is not allowed to take the law into her own hands. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.